Elena Millen 是出生在以色列的和平工作者。自2009年起，她创办了一项中东生态之魂行动。
The initiative that I created is called EcoSpirit Middle East. I work in the Middle East. I know this work is global, but my focus at this time is a lot of the Middle East, but bringing in cooperation and working together with many people on an international level. I feel we need to work on rebuilding relationships. And for me, it's clear that relationships need to be built between people. And in the Middle East, we are surrounded by borders and separation. If it's our different identities, our different religions, our different levels of religiosity, and of course the checkposts and borders which prevent us meeting and establishing relationships. I feel we need to work on rebuilding a relationship with Earth and Mother Earth and all of life that exists. And EcoSpirit Middle East is the connection between the ecology and the spirit, and doing this work in natural environment. I run events, retreats, gatherings, workshops in Egypt, in Jordan, in Palestine, in Israel, always in natural areas, because I feel that if you can bring people to a place that inspires, half the work is done. You know, we spend 7 days in the desert, sometimes 30 change makers from 16 countries in the Middle East, Iranians with Syrians, with Lebanese, with Israelis, with Egyptians, learning to reconnect to each other and to ourselves and to the environment and life. So it's a very powerful combination.
透过培育新一代有智慧、有使命感的地区领袖，致力于人与人之间和人与自然环境之间的修复与调解。
And in fact, what I'm trying to do is to help other people in the region and myself see it from another level, a more universal, higher perspective. And those go back to trying to live in a good way with each other, in truthful, honest relationships, going back to living in communities where we can have the support of the tribal, of the communal structure. It goes back to learning to be in a good way of appreciation to all that we have. If it's our food, if it's the sun, the earth, respecting. There are many ceremonies that I'm connected to that go back to allow people to really be in a good relationship again with the earth. And of course, going back to being able to meet others and see well beyond their identity and their religions and their passports, and really see the human being, so that we can start to move to a future that is a planetary community, that is global, that celebrates diversity, but at the same time is unified and sees the other as the one, as the same part of the one.
他说，中东一直被比喻为世界创伤修复的穴位。如果在这个土地上的人们都能够超越和化解彼此间的仇恨与矛盾，我们就一定有可能创造一个和平理想的新世界。
I think anything is possible, and if we are stuck in the old pictures or visions of history, then it will be very difficult to imagine a whole different situation. And I do believe that the Middle East, as much as it is a place of conflict and suffering and discrimination and violence, it is equally an acupuncture point, a place of potential healing for the whole world and the universe. I think if we can get it right there, we can demonstrate another way. And in my experience of the past 5 or 6 years of traveling across the Middle East doing this work, yes, I absolutely believe that change is possible. I've seen it in myself, and I've seen it in the people that I'm meeting and helping connect to each other. But I emphasize it has to be a multiple level. I actually work officially for an institute in Israel called the Arava Institute for Environmental Studies. For the past 12 years, we have used the environment to bring people together. We are an academic institution for masters and undergraduate, and people come from Palestine, Jordan, and Israel and spend 1 to 2 years living together. It is very unique. There is no such place where this happens. And why we come together is to study and work for the environment. The environment knows no borders. In our region, like many places in the world, our rivers, basins cross borders. Our birds cross borders. Pollution crosses borders. And so to find effective solutions, we have to cooperate. And to be able to cooperate, we have to see the other and be able to accept the other's existence and the other's narrative. And that's what we do. We bring people together. That was actually my primary place of transformation. I came from a background of fear and a lot of passion, but very fearful. And here at the Institute, I met Palestinians and Jordanians that I connected deeply with, and then went on to work together for many years. So actually the environment and the shared concern for our water, our air, our energy sources are an incredible potential for cooperation and peace. And our institute is doing leading work, transboundary research across the region. We have a center for renewable energy. Myself, I went to study in China renewable energy to bring back to the Bedouin Arab communities in Jordan, Palestine, and those living in Israel. So it's a clear example of maybe taking something that is, we see it very negative, we see it as a big challenge, and doing alchemy, making it into something positive. Communities, the eco-communities that are popping up around the world. There's one that I'm involved building right now with Palestinians and Israelis together in an area in the north, in an area of Palestine with Israeli access. Those are the places that are most cooling. Now I feel we need to be going back and living in these ways together that are in balance with the environment and in balance on a social level. Because peace work isn't just spiritual peace. You know, we have to really be working on the different levels, and the social level is extremely important. And also I'm involved with this saying we need to live in community. It's not so easy, right? Why have so many communities failed? Because we get jealous and we get angry, and this one is taking over the money, and so many problems exist. And so there are actual ways, and there are communities or places in the world that are really trying to research how do we live in a good way in a community.